Welcome back. So another fortnight has passed, and that means we have a new rotation of free assets on the Fab marketplace. And this time around, we go to Fab as always, limited time free section, and then we see that we have an MAE beach forest, we have a museum and gallery, and we have some radical robots. So those are the three assets that we're going to be getting for free this time around. And as always, you have 14 days until the next rotation happens to get these for free. If you don't get them for free under this period, you won't be able to get them for free. You have to purchase them at their normal prices or discounts if that's what you're after. So, Beach Forest, created by Maelstrom Library. You can see the details over here. To get these assets, all you need to do is go over here. You need to choose a license. There's a personal and a professional one. They are the same in what they allow you to do with them. The difference is just that they cover different amounts of people. So if you're just an indie person, you need or don't need, but you could use a personal one. A professional one is for larger groups and depending on revenue and such things. So to make this simple, all you need to do is just choose the professional version. It works for everybody essentially, and then you're done. So the next one is the museum and gallery made by Evermotion, and here you can see the information about that one. You can pause if you want to read that. And lastly, we have the radical robots from Taco 3D, and here you have some of the information for that pack. So now that we have a overview of what we're getting this time around, let's check them out in more detail and see what we find out. So first out, we have radical robots, the Mike, the customizable robot. So this is that character. So it's a little cute character with a bit of charm. Included in this pack, you get this specific character robot, Mike, and you have a bunch of different animations. So if we kick them up like so, we can see we have some damage animations, some hit reactions, we have some jump animations, we have some locomotion animations, we have some emotes and idle breakers over there, and then we also have some combat animations. However, these combat animations are not as many as they look. They are essentially half as many here because they are most of them here are just mirrored animations from different sides. So you don't get as much variety as it might show to begin with, but you still have a bunch of different things. You have both melee attacks and uppercuts and biting attacks, as well as these sort of Mega Man style like attacks. So these cannons are part of the prop section. So you see over here we have busters, which are these cannons you can attach to your character and use as cannons, and you also have a power pod if you want to make use of that as well. So those are the actual geometry that you can add upon and make some variety for this character. So as it comes to customizability, there isn't a whole lot in the way of geometry because there's only these two things that you can do, but in addition to that, you also have the ability as always to make use of materials. And here are some examples of what you can achieve look-wise when it comes to just changing the materials around in different ways. So you have a bunch of different robot variations here essentially. So other than that, there's just one tiny little thing I want to make note of, because this more or less covers everything, and that is that this robot also seems to have some blinking animations on it, which looks pretty neat, but there seems to be some issue when you look at the character. Like for example, if we check this one over here, it seems to be blinking at this distance, but if we get closer to it, we can see that it's actually not blinking at all. So I'm not sure if it's a material issue that we have that are like artifacting at certain distances, but yeah, just something to keep in mind when you're making use of this. So this radical robot is created by Taco 3D. Next up, we have the MAE Beach Forest. So this is the showcase map. We zoom out a little bit so you get a little bit of a feel for what's going on here. So we have a pretty huge landscape here with a lot of foliage going on with trees and some grass, rocks, all kinds of stuff like that. Let's see if I can get my sensitivity down a little bit so we can move around a little bit better. So this is the type of scenery that you're getting in this asset pack. So there is not a whole lot, but you don't need a whole lot when it comes to the type of vegetation asset packs generally, because things being slightly different in size, in rotation, stuff like that, it gives you a lot of variety already as it is. When it comes to this pack, we can also go to the overview map. Inside the overview map, we can get a clearer picture of what we're actually getting inside of the pack. So here you have it grouped up into different categories. So we have some covers over here, look like that, leaf covers. We also have some grass, so that's a patch of grass that you have there, sad little patch of grass. And then you have some ground plants, a bunch of different ones. So a fair amount of variety when it comes to that. You also have a log, and you have a bunch of rocks, and you have some small rocks, and then you have the central part, which is essentially the trees. Ending off, you also have a few different parts here that shows off the landscape layers. So what the ground will look like with different types of materials and surfaces. So that's what you can see made use of here as well. So yeah, that's what you get inside of the MAE Beach Forest, which is created by Maelstrom Library. So last out we have the Museum and Gallery, Arch Interiors Volume 10, Scene 1 from Evermotion. So here we have this sort of art gallery kind of scene. If we zoom out a little bit, actually we can't, we're in a character. So we have this sort of art gallery with a few different rooms inside of it, and then that's essentially the whole scene that we get. So we have these different parts that make out the scene. So this is meant as architectural visualization rather than anything else, but of course you can always possibly find some asset here that maybe is something that you're after. Even though it may not be game optimized, you can always work around that in different ways as well. But yeah, so everything that you see inside of this demo map here is what you get inside of this asset pack. So these are the 3 assets we get this time around. Hopefully this was useful to you. Hopefully you found something here that you liked. For me personally, it wasn't a very exciting week this time around, or bi-weekly rotation this time around. The mic robot was probably the most cool part, I would say. So that one maybe is a little bit more exciting than the other ones are, but feel free to let me know in the comments down below what your impressions were of this. And as always, keep on learning. Take care. A big thank you to all of you who like, comment, subscribe and share my videos, or through other means support this channel. You are what makes this channel grow and become a resource for other people to learn from.